I'm Ruth, the owner and designer behind Ruth Barzel Jewelry Design. Considering that I'm the type of person that likes to plan out absolutely everything, it's amazing to me that my jewelry business evolved the way it did because the entire thing was completely unplanned. Once it started rolling, it seemed to take on a life of its own, and I just followed. I grew up in Seattle, Washington, in a pretty artistic family. My mother is an artist. Many of her pieces are displayed around my house today. My parents encouraged creative pursuits, and I always assumed I would do something creative with my life, but I wasn't sure exactly what. I tried various things, but nothing felt quite right, and eventually I'd always end up abandoning them. Meanwhile, the years were passing, and I started to think I would never find something I was passionate about and that really worked for me, and I was just going to have to accept that. Then, in the early 1990s, after my first child was born, I became interested in designing jewelry. I'd always loved fashion, especially accessories, so between that and my artistic background, it seemed like a good fit. I started taking metalsmithing classes and spending all my free time honing my skills and perfecting my style. I had no intention of launching a business, but I ended up with so much jewelry I didn't know what else to do with it, so I decided to try selling. I had no sales skills, no business plan, and basically no idea what I was doing. The one thing I did have, though, was that I felt good about my products. After a while, I placed some pieces in a boutique in Washington, D.C., near where I live. That was about 11 years ago. Now my work is sold in several stores, and I also have a website and a growing Etsy shop. I work on my jewelry in the evenings and on weekends because by day I'm an editor at Georgetown University. I have a small studio in my home, and you can usually find me there after hours, working on my jewelry with my little rescue dog Jackson on my lap or asleep at my feet. I really don't know where my ideas come from. Sometimes I start with a sketch, and other times I just dive right in. The designing aspect of my jewelry is the most exciting and also the most frustrating part. Often an idea that I thought was awesome doesn't work out, and then I have to recover from the disappointment and move on. My pieces tend to be simple and delicate. I pay a lot of attention to proportion. I feel that proportion plays a big part in the way that we perceive beauty. And what I really want for my jewelry is for whoever's wearing it, no matter what's going on in her life at that moment, to have a little bit of beauty right there with her. I use mostly gold-filled and sterling silver wire, different types of chain, semi-precious stones, and pearls. I make my pieces using a wire wrapping process. I thread fine wire through holes drilled in stones, and then I use the wire to connect the stones to findings and sections of chain that I cut to custom lengths. It's a painstaking process, but I enjoy the intricacy and I never get bored. I also devote a lot of attention to my packaging. I love presents, and I want each piece that I send out to be like a special little gift. Every item that I send is carefully wrapped, and I always include a handwritten note. In addition to selling my work in stores and on Etsy, I also participate in craft shows and trunk shows, and I have jewelry shows in my home. When my daughter moved out on her own, I transformed her bedroom into a jewelry showroom, and I host open houses a couple times a year. It's a great way for me to combine my business with socializing with friends and clients. I also use the showroom to meet with customers to design custom pieces. In fact, the connections and friendships that I've made as a result of my business has been one of the most unexpected and gratifying benefits of this whole adventure. I'm an introvert and a loner by nature, but through my jewelry, I've connected with so many people that I never would have gotten to know otherwise, from the moms of my son's baseball teammates to the owners, customers, and employees at the stores that sell my work, and so many others. Although my work is done in solitude, it's really expanded my world. I love what I do, and even though it took a while, I feel like I finally found the perfect creative outlet. I find the blend of art and commerce energizing and exciting. I really don't know where my jewelry and I are headed next, but I'm looking forward to seeing where the future takes us.